Hey everyone, this is Gina Hendrickson, and welcome to our third episode of the FMC podcast, as we continue to think about how play is a way to help us live a wholehearted life in ways that strengthen the mind, body, and soul. This week, it is all about the art of play. Meaning, do we have the skill, the aptitude, the joy of play acquired by experience, study, or even observation? The art of play is the conscious use of skill and creative imagination to have fun in life. Now, kids know all about the art of play because we see them in action on the playground, in the neighborhood, and in our own family settings. But what about the skills, aptitude, and joy on how adults play? Maybe the answer is not as obvious as it might seem. Some of the things that we may think of as play on closer inspection often have the qualities of work. And to what many people might seem like work may really be built on a foundation of play. For example, a golf game might be the epitome of play, or it might be part of a very calculated, controlled effort to close a big deal. I enjoy playing golf, but consider myself quite the hacker on the fairways. Now, let's be clear, I fix all my divots and leave many balls behind for others to find as a love offering of joy and camaraderie on the links. Oh yes. Just last summer, I had the incredible experience of being able to play at one of the famed golf courses of Walt Disney World down in Florida. I'm telling you, it was one of the highlights of the year for me, as I indeed love all things Disney, which for me embodies play in almost every conceivable way possible. And it was a special golf moment for me with my husband and my brother. And honestly, one that I've dreamed about doing for many years. So for me, every tee shot, my exploratory adventures through the rough, trying to find a pink ball off of one of my many, many slices, every walk up to the green and sinking a ball in 18 cups was a magical moment that lasted 4.5 hours. That's 270 minutes of my day in playful, joyful bliss. Yet, on that very same course, on the same summer day, we played behind a foursome of golfers who were what I call, angry elves. They were clearly in a foul mood and quite animated in a very non-Disney-like way whenever they teed off. It was a packed course, and we were always waiting to begin a new hole. This foursome was angry at every wait and impatient with the people in front of them for their perceived inferior skill level and, Winnie the Pooh-like pace. It's true. But I've seen that many, many times on golf courses where I've played. People who are so miserable and angry at a bad shot, right? Angry that they spread their unhappiness to everyone around. And let me tell you, it can stress you out. So I played with a friend who would get so angry at a bad shot that he made, he would literally pitch his club. He did it 5 times and lost 2 clubs in the process because they got bent or broke. So I stopped playing with him. For me, these people are not playing, right? They are self-critical, competitive, perfectionistic, judgmental, and preoccupied with their last double bogey. Golfing with these kinds of emotions and reactivity doesn't allow for someone to feel the the playful, out of time, in the zone, doing it for its own sake sensation that accompanies joyful playfulness. Now, there was no art of play evident in their game. They had the skill, yeah, but no joy. They had the aptitude, but lost the fun. Now, I used to run regularly before my joints won the battle of, Gina, what on earth are you thinking about? So I now start and stick to hiking, biking, and walking as part of my weekly playtime. But I discovered that you can divide runners into 4 types, right? The exerciser, the competitor, the enthusiast, and the socializer. Now, this touches just a little bit back on last week's podcast, where I unpacked 8 different kinds of play personalities that we can embody. The exerciser in running is someone who runs primarily to lose weight, to stay in shape, to improve cardiovascular fitness. Right? This was the primary reason that I began running. The competitor runs to improve race time or to beat others, to make a personal best of time or distance. Enthusiasts run to experience the joy of the day, to feel their muscles working, to build up a sweat, and to feel the air on their face. For the socializer, running is primarily an activity to bring people together for talking, which is the real fun for them. So, recalling last week's podcast, the running enthusiasts and socializers live out the play personality trait of the movers and groovers. Now, while all 4 types are certainly running, they do the same activity. The internal experience, however, can be so very different for each person. I think the enthusiast and the socializer runners are more likely to be engaged in pure play, pursuing the activity for the joy that it brings. And you could say that for the socializer, the source of joy is actually in the talking and the schmoozing, right? Not the running itself. The exerciser and the competitor may be running mostly in pursuit of goals or perhaps fast times or fitness, but that can take away the joy from the experience and actually add stress to their lives. Not always, but sometimes. There really is an art of play to tap into that full, life-giving richness that brings healing, light, and joy to us on a daily basis. But the art of play is indeed more than sports or physical activity or being on a team. Like watching your favorite team or athlete, or binge watching sitcoms, or listening to your favorite podcast, or losing yourself in excellent drama on TV or other streaming devices are also types of play, as also is reading a good book. My daughters and I are trading favorite authors and genres throughout the summer. We were each reading more and love the chats that are born from the shared experience. I think this is also why book clubs are so popular and small group studies online. It's the art of playing together. Oh, and here's another. Just think about how you feel walking out of a really, really good movie. For me, it's like bringing my mind back again to the everyday world by retaining a changed perspective, physically, mentally, emotionally. The most powerful movies evoke this, like Star Wars, or this year's Oscar winners like Oppenheimer, or Killers of the Flower Moon, or Barbie, right? All created this experience for me. This sense of coming back to the world, right? Back to reality, shows that a movie was indeed play. And so is reliving its scenes in your mind later, or with others over dinner or your favorite beverage. The art of play is a beautiful gift that just keeps on giving. Now, I experienced this to be true in my own life because play also promotes community connection and interaction. Just think about this. Music, dance, painting, so often part of festivals or social gatherings, even religious observances, all bring people together to sing with one voice, to breathe, move, and join together, connecting in ways that binds and unites people. This wonderful belonging, right? This belonging is an outpouring, a gift, a blessing of early social play among kids that starts at the earliest of ages. You know, young kids, they know how to do this. Getting in sync with local groups of kids and then being able to follow that lead into more complex communal groups and social gatherings are necessary ingredients for a healthy, playful community of life together. Especially, my friends, when conflicts and differences of style and opinion arise and need to be figured out and worked out, blended in to make a new, harmonious, beautiful togetherness, right? This is the art of play. And it's just so important in our life together, especially when, right, not if, but when conflicts and differences of style and opinions arise and need to be figured out, worked out, blended in. Because, my friends, this applies to families, to schools, to churches, and unfortunately, even to Congress, which appears to have a major play deficiency, especially in this area of socialization these days. The art of play for adults becomes a means to put us in sync with those around us. It is a way to tap into common emotions and thoughts and feelings, and to appropriately share them with others, right? Whether it's across the kitchen table or the pew or on the floor of Congress. You know, a colleague of mine who is a director for a community theater company expressed this well, I think. She was instructing a summer class on how to perform Shakespeare. And her students were speaking their lines rather flatly, trying too hard to get the words right, and hearing too little of the emotion in the script. So she said, I told them, in the end, it's called a play because we play. It's a game. It's a big, fun, silly, but profoundly moving human game. That's acting. That's theater. Friends, the art of play could become such an important part of our lives if we just open our hearts and minds and lives to the gift of playfulness. Throughout life, play, imagination, creativity, laughter, and joy can be the keys to emotional resilience in this crazy world and greater overall well-being of mind, body, and spirit, and healthier social connections that create a profound sense of belonging. You know, that's what happened to me for 270 minutes of one day at the Disney World golf course with my husband and my brother. That's what happens when we lose ourselves in a good book, or our favorite drama or comedy, play, or blockbuster movie. We just feel the playful, out of time, in the zone, doing it for its own sake sensation that accompanies joyful play. Oh, friends, the art of play is a gift that keeps on giving. And, remember, you are a natural-born player. So, play on this week.